Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... I feel like I'm a bit closer to the camera than normal. I don't know why. I shouldn't be. It's just because, I put stuff back after, my aunt stayed here because, it was a long trip back after watching a pantomime. So completely understand that. Also, wasn't streaming anyway, so it doesn't matter. But here, I'm back now. And yes, I will talk about the pantomime at some point. At the latest Wednesday, I know some people have asked me about updates beforehand. I was too tired to give them today as well because I was up early helping them take down the entire set. So there we go. But it's done now. So we're back, business as usual, at least over here. I wasn't going to name names, but yes, some people, one person asked me for updates before Walking Wednesday, but either way, uh, those will be forthcoming. Uh, that being said, there's something else that Bon has, requested that I take a look at, and that is the content that we're here to discuss today, or at least part of it anyway. So this one specifically isn't the one that that Bon sent me as a gacha for when I returned, because it's just one that I happened to check the description of actually, and I was going to take screenshots of the description because it is quite something to behold, actually, in general. But one thing that is important is that in the description, there were links to part one and part two of the story, which apparently started in the form of music videos. So yeah, um, the monetization on the stream is not going to last very long at all. So I don't know. Maybe we get served an advert right now. I don't know, maybe that I don't know if that happened or not. If you're watching the VOD, that'll make no sense whatsoever. So yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, you did explain that live first live message. I did read that. Yes, you said you got a recommendation in a different server, and honestly, this is the kind of the same thing that I do. Actually, I take a look at the first few seconds of a video and usually decide, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Or in the case of a ghosty recommendation of whichever clip was sent, that's how Rare came to this radar. So yeah. All right, so let's see. Actually, one thing about the description is that it says maybe one day as like the blurb for it, and then of course at the underneath there it just goes like more to open up the rest of it because it's much further down. I just like it just made me think of One Day More from the Miserable actually. One day more. But anyway, not the point. So yeah, then it says there's first part and second part, which we'll cover in a second. And also it says Holly's notes. Hollybocku or Hollybocku. I'm not sure how to. It's CKU, so it should be Boku supposedly. But yeah, that's what I'm going with. So Hollybocku is the creator of the videos in question and of the OCs, dating all the way back to 2024, as I found. So yeah, Holly's notes say, as of editing this, I realize I left a lot of holes in the plot of this video. Always a good start. It's also that I didn't have time to create a plot for you all to understand easily. You didn't have time to create a plot for a video, but you had time to create the video. Right. Someday, when I have the motivation to finally use these characters again, I will fill up those whole plots. Not plot holes, but whole plots. It won't be voice actors. I realize that I work better with GMVs and convey stories better with them. Please do not expect an official part 2 since working with these characters for 9 months has bored me. That I can understand. I get that completely. I'm sorry, but I hoped in the past you enjoyed what I had for you guys. Also in the past. But just the video is here now. It's what you have for us. Anyway. On the bright side, I'm glad I was able to do a proper voice-acted video with my old OCs, Tara, Fiona, and Hansuke were from a bunch of... Sorry, that's two separate sentences. My old OCs, Tara, Fiona, and Hansuke were from a bunch of old characters I made 5 to 7 years ago. They had a lot more complicated lore, and I wanted to show you that. Though it's not the best video to convey it all, but I'm still happy this was completed. I'm very excited to hear any lore theories you guys have. Thanks for watching. So, don't expect an official part 2 because you're bored, but also please submit the theories about the lore that I am not going to present to you. Aha. Okay. Well, one thing that stands out in that description, at least, is that apparently Holly is way better at conveying stories through the medium of music videos than they are presumably at voice actors. So, good thing we get to see both today. So I thought it'd be good. Well, we don't know. Maybe the music videos are fantastic. Let's go ahead and find out. So without further ado, this is Right Now, GCMV. That's the name of it, because it's a One Direction song, Right Now. So without further ado, on with the review right now. I can at least say I do love when gacha videos like have even if they're like very simplistic, that like polygons for backgrounds. I like people make the custom things, and it's again something I really want to start doing myself at some point. I don't know if it will be during the making of the Mutant Go remake, because I've been obviously still collecting voice lines in that time. I've not really had much time to do anything else. I don't know if it will be for that or for something else, but eventually I want to dive into that because it looks really fun. Not to mention also the texturing done here is also something that's not seen in many places, including Rare. And we have a character with no eyes. Okay, all right then. Go down and the night is calling to me, yeah. I mean, okay, so at least we have like visual representation of these different things in the song itself, which can be a good thing. It just depends. With gacha music videos, the thing that I always found is that the ones that try to tell a different story inside of the song itself either play fast and loose with what stuff they actually visualize or don't visualize anything specific. That's why a lot of the old gacha music videos either follow the same story structure because people shouldn't reinterpret the song in a different way, or they just ignored the context for it as much as possible. That's also the reason why whenever I've done gacha music videos, excluding the ones that were my own songs, because that's cheating, that's obvious. The ones that weren't my own songs, like the Danny Gonzalez ones, there's like specifically I like Danny Gonzalez songs in gacha form because they have a story to them already that you can identify, and also they're comedic, so that also really helps. Not by no means the only artist that I've considered making a music video of particularly, but the only one thus far that I've actually done so. So that's just something that helps, and for my own personal sake. This one I'm not sure where it's going to go, but because I guess it'll depend on the song itself. Okay, the character is sliding on a presumably waxed pavement. Not even pavement, actually, just waxed road. Voices singing songs in the street and okay, singing songs in the street. That's why they're on the road. Okay, you know what? This gets a pass. Normally, I complain when characters are just randomly standing in the road for no reason. In fact, I'll continue to do that. Why is the main character of this standing in the road for no reason? If you hear voices singing songs in the street, that means that the voices are coming from the streets, not that you yourself are standing in the road and sliding along it for some reason. I know that we won't be going, and now you're sliding the opposite direction. For so long, but I know that I won't be on my own. This is something. This is where I'm starting to see the lore from. I guess at this point it would have been like 3 to 4 years prior, I suppose, coming through. Because at some point, there's always the balance of self-indulgence with conveying your lore visually to different people versus the general audience that doesn't know about the lore and that you apparently want them to theorize about it, so you're not going to tell them the whole thing. So yeah, I guess wherever someone falls is is up to them to some degree. Uh, they get a pass because well, the characters who were singing the songs in the street get a pass. The main character doesn't. Yeah. You're not the only Gacha archive around because I found a channel called Wiz Gaming Archive. That's the official archives of Wiz Gaming. Okay. So there's some Wiz Gaming content that's been deleted that I'm there to look into. All right, very interesting. Please refer that to me. I'm intrigued. This is some nice art. That is very true. I even like the little bit like the bobble of the head actually, even though that was just basically like moving a layer. It still worked because that's how like hair would move normally. So I'm back to no eyes. Eyes would I? Sorry, sorry, I forgot that this is at this point. Here we go. So main character has headaches. Our character says again. It's suppose. All right. Oh, he said that earlier. Oh, I missed that completely. Again, I've been completely elsewhere recently. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so would you like to talk about it? Let's see. When I left the bakery, I saw her. Don't listen to me. She has forgotten about. Wait, did the time of day just change? Wait a second. Now go back. Go back. Okay. So this. Okay. So again. All right. So this is what. There's the same character. This is one conversation. They exchange a few sentences, and it's nighttime. I mean, I know the lights are going out. The night is calling to you, but that was already a scene that happened, right? Did they decide to turn the lights off to make it more atmospheric when this conversation was happening already at nighttime? Who does that? She just might have passed me without saying hi. This isn't like you know? Right now I wish you were. Oh, okay, that's the content of the song. Right now I wish you were here. So this falling out that's happened, and that's what. Okay. Do you understand what things are coming out of your mouth? Why can't? Oh my goodness. Each of these is like 1 second. Why can't you understand what I've seen with my 2 eyes? Because the other character wasn't there to see it also, so you have to convey that verbally, But it's not because of like on not understanding. I guess it's not believing. I don't know. No nose on your face, big disgrace. Yeah. Can't escape him, can I? Can't escape Freddy at the moment. Let's do my 3 eyes to the back. Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you got 1 left over after this, and got removed, and included the blush of the characters. Again, if a face is meant to seem like it's, like neutral or something, or expressionless, why keep the blush on it to accentuate what isn't there? Anyway. Wonder. That's it, man. He never listens to me. All you said was that somebody passed you by and didn't say hi. If anything, that's not listening. It's just you're explaining the 2 things differently. Okay, subtle detail here, but I really like how like the scrolling of the thumb is in time with like the beats of the music, like the boom, 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 boom. That's good. Not to mention, very smooth thumb movement as thumb movements go. Yeah. Didn't realize this song until now. Never listened to One Direction. I've listened to One Direction a fair amount, but not this particular song. So yeah, I mean, I checked the description anyway of this video, so that's how I knew. But yeah. Yeah, these should help you dry up. Make yourself at home, alright? Not the hallucinations. I thought she was just like doing like flashbacks or something. Oh, I guess that's why she was like clutching her head. Like, okay, she's what if she gets a flashback? She hallucinates the actual thing. Okay, all right. thank you. I proceed to hold them in the strangest fashion. I guess I was staying here for a bit. Oh, I thought until the rain dried out. Did you just like... Okay, you had one argument and fully ran away from home? It's like, oh, well, I guess I'll stay with a complete stranger now because it happened to be raining. Unless you mean for a bit in like a few hours, in which case that's... Okay, clumsy phrasing, but I mean, I'll take it. Is that a purple cat or is it a plushie? Could be either one. It's Gacha, I never know. I have a question for you. Yes, why do your eyes keep falling out? It's only you most of the time. The other character in this scene has glasses and eyes as well. I know that the window technique, I mentioned this in a previous Gacha. I think it was in Believer X Gasoline, actually. I mentioned the window segmentation technique of like separating the characters even though they're occupying the same space. So there is some element like, keeping her distance, which, it is quite nice to see. Maybe that's why one of them has like the no eyes thing. She's trying to close herself in or something. Maybe, I don't know. Is everything all right? You were outside at a time like this. Yeah, so were you. Did you see it from the window or something? I'm just like, good. I live right here. You probably won't believe me what I'm going to say. I had one argument and ran away from home. Can the characters ever not slide? I feel like when this video was made, the keyframing was just off in places, and they use like the same layers and recycle the same like video project each time. Take it to yourself and Beavis Choke is amazing. Could you tell I've been rewatching it? From the context clues, yes, or should I say elementary? I know they only say it once in that show, but still. Everything is going to be right. Oh, so I guess the flashback was like her telling, okay. Her telling her that she found someone collapsing on waxed floors. I always appreciate whenever a Gacha video attempts to, do, well, not only just like back facing and front facing, but also an actual hug. And this one did both at the same time, Be something nice about the guy. I've said multiple nice things about this Gacha. I talked about the polygons at the beginning, the texturing, the window technique, the hug just now, which was sent after your message. Granted, but come on, I've been doing both. I've been doing both. Also, technically, this is not the video you recommended because you didn't know these ones existed. So, but then again, this is also the one where apparently the story is conveyed the best according to the creator's own words. So, let's see. Anyway. I guess this is, I guess sometimes in Gacha music videos, you'll get people like singing the actual lyrics as well. So I guess that was a quote in the video. And this is either a hallucination of what's going on or this is like her reintroduction, I guess. I don't know. Dislocated shoulder, okay. Okay, I think dislocated shoulder, and then like immediately like a swooping camera technique I've never actually seen before, going out of a Dutch angle, but also panning outwards. I don't think I've ever seen that in a Gacha before. There is some really nice camera work that's going on here. I just wish I could make out the rest of it. She's here. She does not look happy to be here. She looks very, very distressed about it. Your stuff! What stuff? Oh, I guess that... Well, I mean, she's not going to necessarily run out. She's just going to check the door, right? Okay, never mind. She's going to run across because... Did she just... When she says she's here, normally people say that when someone knocks at the door to come and like either collect them or visit them or something. So that suggests to me that, that if she was required to run down the street to catch the person that she was like, that was avoiding her or whatever, that means that person just ding-dong ditched or something. Like, why? Why is she still walking? It's a green light for the cars, I imagine. Ah, she just didn't see the green light because she has no eyes. So how could she know? Of course. I also think she's like reading something, she's got like a either either a phone or like a card of some kind that's also the exact same color as her jumper, but all right. Not her jumper, her hoodie. I'm so sorry, are you okay? I should have looked. Yeah, you're still on the road, idiots. Get up. So happy you're alive. Yeah, you're alive for now. Move out of the way. This is where it doesn't get a pass. There are no more songs being sung in the street unless you count this one, and I personally do not. You can sing this part anywhere you want. Sing it when you are safe. So did the Langoliers just eat those people up in the shadows? Like that felt like it was like chomped up or something. So much for cleaning her mess. Yes, the mess of blood on the floor. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah. Charger came out and then it nudged all the cables. Oh, okay. I guess I've switched over to my other camera. Great. So let's switch back. I'm glad they're back together. Back together? All that happened was the one saved the life of the other one. That doesn't mean they're back together. That just means that they've like made up from like their arguments. I was like, yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like, I mean, yeah, of course. I think that's probably again due to the fact that these are like OCs with like already standing lore. But this is described as part one. This is everyone's introduction to them. And from an audience perspective, trying to piece all this together in one music video is great for marketing because it means people rewind the video multiple times, like I've already had to do. But it's also goes into like a sense by bun situation where if it's designed in that case in the first place, it's usually not the best idea because people are having to actively put in more effort. There's like a threshold somewhere. Rewatch value is a thing in media, and it's something that again I attempt to do to some degree in my own stuff. Not these reactions. I mean, like the crafted things. But the thing is, the thing with like Sense by Buns and with this, they both made this the same error of, okay, if a video requires you to rewind, then it's not rewarding you for doing so. It's just giving you the essential stuff it should have beforehand. It's the video game equivalent of like a game being like half locked behind DLC. If people want to use that as a comparison, Case in point, the fact that a full sentence lasts only a second on screen. And then a ghost appears at the end. Okay, sure. Right, I'm done with that one. Let's move on to the second one, which apparently has a trigger warning. Trigger warning, Tragedy GC. But I think that's the name of the song. So we're supposed to be triggered by the idea that a tragedy will occur, or that the song Tragedy was used in the first place. Supposed to be dead, but someone survived them. They're all supposed to be dead. They were on the road for long enough. I don't know. Maybe this is why they're supposed to be dead. Maybe someone will actually die in this one. You never know. Oh, that's it. That's it. Some there. Maybe they like the something special is this just was the collective name before the actual recommended video. I don't know. I know there's something fucked up. Oh, okay. So we are going like directly afterwards. All right. Never seen two music videos. I've seen music videos where there's like two-parters or even like four-parters at one point, actually. I think even Jay back in the day had like a four-parter thing, like basically like Boy in the Bubble. And the series was called Boy in a Bubble, even though that's only the first song. Which is not a bad idea for music videos in terms of storytelling. Again, provided you can make out the story that's being told, of course. It's a very Fallout Boy thing, by the way. I know that Fallout Boy has 11 music videos that all like connect in a specific like lore order. And I guess to some degree you're also supposed to rewatch those a bunch of times, but the difference there is, I guess, that, you have something to latch onto during that time, the video itself, and it's not like everything is, like, super confusing. I've only seen, like, a couple of them, but still. And the rewatch value is if you want if you want, to go the extra mile. So again, I don't count that. So no song credit in the description of the second video. Well, I'm still thinking the song is probably called Tragedy, but I don't know. Here we are. Oh yeah, again, I keep forgetting that the lyrics they're not putting the lyrics on the other bottom of the screen, they're just other things. So yeah, I told her countless times, to not play in the street. And yet, what just happened to... Oh, that's a bad frame to end up on. Although, I presume that's deliberate, right? That's got to mean something. But again, I rewound because I was checking the lyrics. People are going to miss... Like, if this is important to see, like, okay. Anyway, here we are. Yeah, Urka's correct. Yeah, we found the secret, but at what cost? Here we are. Wait a second. Wait. No. Rewind again. Okay. I'm presuming that the other eye is covered up. I thought for a second that there's like this character might have one eye because of the monocle, but no, they're covered up by the fringe. Okay, fine. Are they all here watching this exchange on the road and no one does anything? Were these characters even like present in the moment? Like we saw the other character appear in the last video, but where did these two show up? Yep, you run out as well. Okay, I hope it's not still a green light. That's just what cars look like too. Okay, I think that was a sweat droplet. It looked like her mouth was melting, but I think it was meant to be like a sweat droplet of some kind, or maybe a tear. Okay. Oh, that's why it's called Trigger Warning Tragedy. There's no trigger warning for the blood itself, but, not like I can complain about that necessarily, really, but but still. And also, what is... Given what just happened here, is this song the correct, like, or the apt choice for what's... As soon as, like, the happy swell of the chorus kicked in, that's when you just choose to pull out the blade, the William Zanna Zweihander blade. Yeah, no, she's an angel now for sure, you're right. Doesn't seem too torn about it. Where did the weapon come? Okay, I'm guessing this is again meant to be in like some sort of like headspace. They're still canonically on the in the road, so. Yeah, fall literally. Just leave it a couple more seconds and the cars would have done the job for you, but yeah. It's called, yes, this is Tragedy by Fly By Midnight. There we go. All right, so the song is called Tragedy. Fantastic. So now they're all just fighting with the... So this series, by the way, started off with, okay, so these two characters who maybe went through a breakup of some kind, avoid each other, and, one of them was very stupid, ran away from home, because of an argument, because apparently their relationship was not that good to begin with, potentially, or they weren't good for each other, but they refused to believe that. Ended up at this random lady's house, the most like shark jumpy thing at that point, or not really shark jumpy at all, was the person moving, going in the road and saving them, and then potentially making up after what happened, not necessarily getting back together like the other character said, but we'll see. And then out of nowhere, they start pulling out these random weapons and fighting each other. And this is a random other people who just showed up out of nowhere, hijacking the story right after it opened up immediately from where we left off. Like, I gave credit for like opening up immediately after, which I've never seen two music videos do. There've been two-parters before, but what I was saying before was that I haven't seen a music video that there's like follows through exactly where something left off. You know, the Taming the Bad Boy style that I liked so much at that point, and still do. And then they ruin it by being like, okay, all right, this is we're gonna flow from here. Oh, but then there's something else that happens. Now they've jumped the shark. Okay. Easiest form way to follow the story. Music videos, of course. And that's it. Well, I'm glad that everyone is cleared up about the mysteries here. This giving me 2019 vibes when we, the Gacha community, would pick a random song to create in a video. I have no choice why these songs were chosen. Yeah. That's what I said before. Like, a lot of music videos would like repeat the same story structures as well. Because there are only so many ways that, you know, people can think to remix a song if they've seen it a million times. So, yeah, that's what happens. Yeah. Also, if the song was like, "If You Fall for Me," that'd be a tragedy. I mean, the character, I guess, like, was pushed out the way, so technically fell, but not for the person. And also, the song be like, "If you fell for me, would be a tragedy," but then the tragedy was not the part where the character literally got impaled. Was that logo animated? Yeah, looks like it. That is the logo of the actual series. So, oh, well, there you go. Wait, Chad, is that you? As in like former voice of Ingrid, Chad, that disappeared after some time. If so, welcome back. If not, then welcome. I don't know. All right. Speaking of something special, now it's time for. Yeah, I remember you. Like, honestly, we was all like more confused if anything. I know that sometimes like life happens or whatever, but still, you know, it's like, oh, that's a shame. You know, you got like the most competed for role, and then you know never got to voice. That's the real tragedy right there. But anyway, yeah, no, this is something that happens. It just, you know, we just all wish we knew what actually went down. Is more the case, but yeah. But yeah, Ingrid was the most competed for role during that process of auditions. Like, I don't remember how many people actually went for it, but there were quite a few. You know, that was yeah. Yeah, exactly. Again, tragedy. Okay, moving on from tragedy, because the less we talk about that video, the better, quite frankly. There weren't even that many times like there were good like camera movements in that, because it was just, you know, it's just what it was. Yeah, because I've got there we go. All right, I get that, you know. As someone who started VA during college, it was only probably because of lockdown that I decided to go for that in the first place. So yeah, that's fair. The point where you drop. Oh, I didn't realize that you were in Kesseru as well. That's I haven't checked all the credits in that, so but hey, nice to know that somebody who was at least with Yukito stuck around for other videos that aren't Kesseru ones to some extent, aside from Bon, who was already here, obviously. And Mops, who also was already here. not what I meant, but okay. Again, focusing, coming back. Let's actually watch the video that you came here for in the first place. Something special. The actual voice acted one. So, without further ado, on with the review.
There has been multiple reports from citizens that a fight has occurred a few minutes ago.
Okay. That line confused me before I like checked the description to see like, the other part. So this is again, I guess, opening up immediately afterwards, where they decide to, I guess, to take the train. I hope that that's not that sheet there is not covering up the stab wound. I mean, I understand that that ambulances in the US cost $9,000 from what I've heard, but also, but just in general, I don't know if this takes place in the US. Actually, that's not really. I'm not really sure about that. Provided that it doesn't, it would have made more sense to go to a hospital the normal way, but yeah.
Officers searched the area multiple times, but found nothing. However, witnesses said that a tall, light ash blonde male with 4 females, 2 of them having dark brown hair, 1 of them having blonde hair.
There's the logo. Like the handle swinging back and forth. That's something that there's a custom background by Beowulf, not that one, but a different one that also has the same effect. I think it was like a redesign of the train that's in Gacha itself, which I really like the idea of doing that. So okay, so I guess Holly learned from their mistake and is now applying the trigger warnings in the proper place rather than just in general a trigger for things. That experience where headphones turn on captions. Yeah, so obviously for StreamYard purposes, I can't turn on captions, but if anyone wants to check out the original video, it's in the description, third link in the description. Because I put the links in order of which I watch them, usually. So you can check out the captions there. That being said, I always get worried when people say turn on captions in a video like this. Because I mean, sometimes people would put on captions themselves, but the idea of like turning on captions being a requirement here, it can either mean that there are secrets that are hidden inside the captions themselves, similarly to how the captions on the video itself in Secrets of the Plex hid which character was speaking or someone like in the background that was like hidden in a couple of cases. So it can be that, but more often than not, it means our audio is not distinct enough. We need you to turn on the captions to read what's going on. So we'll see.
Merry Christmas, everyone! It is truly a Christmas miracle that it snowed last night. The name is Haru, and I'm here with Sunny.
And confusing dialogue it is. All right.
Hello.
So, Sunny, what are your plans for Christmas today?
You know, probably relax at home, maybe visit family. And what about you?
Tora, sorry for the wait. Offer.
Hold on. Is the interview still? They're still talking, but they're like not in the frame here. Is that meant to be like a diegetic thing, like someone's TV is playing? Oh wait, I see what. Okay, I think I see what happened. So they were watching this, and the person in question. So maybe she was watching the TV, and this is the interview that was playing. So that's why they're there. Okay, fine. I would have personally preferred like to have like a visual of like something playing on the TV to get that, but okay.
And what about you?
Tora, sorry for the wait.
I also appreciate again, we still have the polygons designed for custom backgrounds. We also have like tinges of snow, which I think I remember doing that for the Mutant Girl Christmas special. I didn't do it like that precisely, but I like the idea of using that kind of texture for snow in general because it makes perfect sense. The video, I don't think anything's hidden in the captions. Some videos just seem to be a bit hard to understand. Yeah, and the music, of course, is not helping again because it's not compensating for the audio balance.
Hopper was getting in the way, and Hopper too. The twins never stop asking, but
Okay, hold on a second. So this character, usually back in the day with Gacha, the criticism was people talking with their mouth closed, when their like speech bubbles were on screen. With voice actor stuff, more often than not, people are quite good at not having that be a thing, because because I guess for cognitive dissonance purposes, people have just connected the dots of like, oh yes, we should have the character with like mouths open at least when sound is coming out of them at the bare minimum. And in this case, we have someone who's like doing the middle portion, I think, because it seemed like they were just talking like this. Hello there. Hope you're enjoying the interview. Turn on the captions to see what I'm saying.
sorry for the wait.
I do agree the designs are cute, and I appreciate the reversing, for back facing to include the actual accessories as well. That's nice attention to detail at the very least.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, but like Julius.
Oh wait, no, it's not their teeth. My mistake. It's because the mouths on the characters. There's a thing in Gacha in general where, from Gacha Club onwards, you can actually change the color inside of a character's mouth. Normally, people don't like to mess with those because there's honestly not much of a point. It's already kind of set to what people's mouths look like on the inside, especially like the redness of someone's tongue. Give or take. So most of the time it's not changed. This just looks like it seems to be This looks like it's been changed so that you can actually, so it's the same color as the character's skin, as if like the mouth is like drawn on them in that way. But that had to be a conscious choice. So I believe that the mouth might have been custom drawn for that reason, and they didn't think to fill in the inside of that drawing to match the idea of like people's mouths in Gacha community. Okay, so it looked like the character's mouth was like, yeah, they're talking through their teeth, but they're not. Okay. All right. Okay. Also, I guess that explains why you're here as well.
Stop me and straight to the point. I got you something.
You got me?
Did she say straight to the point while drinking the mug? Wait. Okay.
Julia,
hold on.
stop me and straight to the point. I got you something.
Okay, no. So the other character says straight to the point. Okay, fine.
You got me something?
Nope, no, she didn't. No, it's different mic qualities. No, that was just how it was. It was done. Okay, so not to give too many spoilers, like I know I said I was going to talk about the pantomime some other time, but here's one thing that happened in the pantomime itself. At one point, because my character was based off of Freddie Mercury, I sang a bunch of different, all of my dialogue was basically, for that character at least, all my dialogue was just, lyrics. And so I was like singing them. So at one point, Freddie in the play tries to hit on a character who is deaf and doesn't understand like what he's actually saying and gets very confused by the whole ordeal. And so he then just like goes, "This is a tricky situation. I only have myself to blame." Except what I do, because I knew there was going to be like a glass there, I made a thing about it. And I was like, "I only have myself to warm." So make the sound of someone drinking, as if because there's not much time before I leave stage after that. I thought it'd be a funny thing. I did it in rehearsal, and people seemed to like it, so I kept it in. My point is, that's something that is on my mind. If you're speaking and your character is taking a sip of something, then that has to match. And I'm not saying that the VA should have known that, because more often than not, people don't put the very detailed directions inside the script of certain videos. And if this creator's used to making music videos, I imagine they probably look like your average Aiden script, let's say. So, which is to say, not much detail about the visuals at all, because most of the time Aiden edits his own stuff, so he'll murk out that stuff later. The trade-off of that is that the VAs don't know what's going to happen. So if your side character is going to take a sip at some point, you don't specify that, they're not going to know. And if you as the director don't redirect them and tell them that because you failed to put it into the script in the first place, then that's on you. That's the thing. Did you have to change the color of the mouth? I want to use the mouths with teeth, but these seem custom. Yeah, that's I forgot about that, because usually like every most of the time in GL2 I'm copying and pasting the same characters. Honestly, at this point, half of my GL2 page is just full of different outfits for one character. So I forgot about that detail.
Not for me.
Okay, that is a really good visual right there. They're a bit bad, but also like the changing of the actual texture as that character's hand enters. I haven't seen anyone remember that detail.
Ta-da! Merry Christmas!
Hold up. This is Hansuke's writing. How? Fiona, did something happen?
Did something happen? Read the letter and find out. I mean, I guess I'd be suspicious as to why Hansuke is not delivering the letter himself, potentially, but also, I don't know if I've had the characters to take the credit for
Hansuke's never allowed to send me anything. Why now?
Whoa, calm down.
Ah, so it's a loophole. Hansuke is not allowed to send something, but he can send someone else to send the letter. That's quite clever. I like that.
Down. Think of it as a Christmas gift. I will tell you more about it, but...
Dear Tara.
I do appreciate it says signed Hansuke at the bottom there.
I'm not used to writing letters. Sorry. How are you guys over there?
One thing that you can do actually, if you have a you know, a letter, is you can and you want to put it on the screen, you can actually copy paste your script into there to some degree with the obvious reformatting. Although I guess the signed Hansuke looks like it was like handwritten, so maybe that was just, you know, not really worth the effort, which I also get.
Fiona gave me the gist of it, but she won't say much. Whenever Fiona visits me, Fiona
I appreciate the birds at the very least, and also I think it's the only sound effects in the video as well.
always talks about you. I even heard
Background was designed by Emado Luna. Okay, logo designed by Ilya. Music composed by music composed. Okay, so we've got actual. we've got hopefully non-copyrighted music in that case. always love that when it comes up. And here's something that I don't love. We've got a character with no eyes again, but is actively using said eyes to read a letter while wearing glasses. Once again, drawing attention to what isn't there. The rest of the background, I've seen this obviously in the music videos. It's obviously just the style of the creator, but still.
heard from Fiona that you're going to spend Christmas alone again this year. And I'm pretty sure that Flora, Sarah, and the others invite you to their goofy...
Okay, so they do have a chance to like do handwritten letters. Okay. Also, that delivery there, I probably would have redirected myself because it's like, someone told me spending Christmas alone again. It seems a little bit too cheerful or conversational, considering that spending Christmas alone is, you know, depressing for most people, including introverts, I would imagine.
Christmas celebrations, right? Either way, you shouldn't reject their invite. Once they invited me, and Lord, was it something, but I still enjoyed it. Oh, and you're probably wondering how I'm writing this to you. Well, you know how Oprah's like the good twin, and Oprah's like the strict one?
Well, you know, this is, again, I guess people getting up to speed with, like, you know, the law and whatever. You know, this isn't... This is almost an as you know situation. He didn't say the actual words, but he said you know. Like, you know, but it's kind of like as well as like reminders of like, oh yeah, you know, like this thing that we said before. It's like, you know, it feels conversational. It feels more natural than just a typical as you know. So I can appreciate that at least. As for these lore details here, filling us in for the audience because we're not, you know, hearing that. Okay, you know what? Title cards and stuff. This is probably, I guess, it's probably like the least clumsy way that I can, I guess, outline this. Yeah. Okay, so some of this is from what? Maybe Valorant? Okay. I see. Oh, so all right. Like, oh, so the music was composed by the composers for like those different things. Okay, so not for this video. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm still surprised they share a body, but I managed to time it perfectly.
They share a body, but they're twins. Oh, they're kind of like the Frost twins in Inazuma 11.
And
maybe.
Asked Oprah instead of Opry, and she gladly gave me a pen and paper. And Fiona was forced to be my little messenger boy.
I do like how he's like saying like in the letter how things that would have happened after the letter was written have gone down.
Since I haven't seen you for a couple of years, I wanted to give you something. There should be something attached. Unless Fiona took it out for safekeeping. Take it as something for me to remind me of you.
See, the one thing I'm curious about now is why Hansuke can't send letters directly. Does he have like a restraining order against him or something? If I just like spreading out the verses like that. The origin of the actual gacha accessories themselves. I can appreciate that. Oh, and the actual turnaround when it goes to the different side. One of my things I keep mentioning is that in gacha, if you turn like a character around, the assets just mirror themselves. So the fact that like that was also like smoothly done, again, really appreciate that. Specify, yeah, okay, yeah. So there are some
Oh,
original
that's-
composed ones, but not all of them. Okay.
Sounded cringe. Why did I even write that? But
Was that also put in the letter?
anyways, I just
Even the sigh?
I miss you so much, Tara. There hasn't been a single day where I haven't thought about you. Merry Christmas. Signed, Hansuke.
Whoa! Look at this! This is the thing that Hansuke wanted to give to you.
Okay. I know that was meant to be like, calming down. It's like, oh, look at this. This is the thing. Yeah, I didn't mean to make you cry. And then it's like, whoa. It delivered like, oh, whoa, look at this. This is the thing. Here it is. Woo, hell. That does explain why it's in the logo, I suppose.
Wow!
Unless you had it on to begin with.
Here! Hansuke told me to give this to you. Please. Look, I'm
Snatch
not
it,
the
yeah.
best at comforting people, but listen, I guess. But either way, this necklace, Hansuke wanted to give this to you. It's a
Yeah, she heard that.
necklace that has power to heal injuries.
Oh, good, because someone got impaled and taken to hospital via train. Could we address that,
But
please?
unfortunately, it also takes away bits of your lifespan. So just use it wisely and mainly.
Why would he entrust that to her? What would be the... Okay, he doesn't know about the whole impaled thing. He's like, hey, here's a thing that can shorten your lifespan, but heals injuries. So yeah, next time someone gets a paper cut, I guess, take out the drain part of your immortal soul.
Use
All
it for
right.
minor injuries.
I don't know what to say.
I have an idea. How about no thanks?
Thanks.
I forgot to mention, Opry and Opera told me that the curse should be lifted soon, and I wanted to pass that to you, so you...
Oh, okay. You probably should have opened with that, I would think. I assume that it's their restraining order. It's a curse. They can't interact directly. Which now I want to know more about. The thing is, the thing with these videos is that you tease this lore with these characters that have existed for some time. I don't know if these stories have been some people for their OCs, they don't publish their works. They'll just write stories somewhere. They'll keep them in a binder and either forget about them or something else. I don't know. And to be honest, there's something that before I had a YouTube channel, I did myself a couple of times. I was the event stories. I just scribbled them down somewhere, share them around with my friends at school, and that would be it. They wouldn't really go much further than the playground if we decide to, bring those to life via playtime. So I get that from that extent. The thing is, once if I had decided to share those stories, if I still had access to most of them, which I frankly do not, I would go from the beginning. I probably do what Courtney Project NT does, and highlight, go through the different lore from the past, basically, and I present them as was and make entertaining videos out of it, and then entice people to continue continue viewing the rest of things. I feel like SNT Forces would not have been as beloved as of a series if it weren't for the old SNT comics being showcased and even completed, live actually at one point, but just showcased via that whole Players series actually, and brought to life by voice actors as well. That was also a really fun idea. So yeah, this is missing out that idea of, okay, this is what we were getting into. And again, if you want people to make theories about what's going on, then it's nice to know certain things happened beforehand. I feel like the thing with the theories in the past, unless they plan to be revealed at some point, discussed, they can be a double-edged sword, depending on how crackpot they are, because I've been there before. And the more knowledge people have of the past, or the more they have to draw from, the more they will come up with things for the future. So, yeah, you know. Where's the Markiplier clip? Was like back in the day. It was Jingle Jingle back in the day. Yeah, I haven't seen that clip, but I can imagine that. It does feel like that. Yeah. What bottom line is, something is missing in here, and it's a shame that we're not going to get at least like more explanation of what's actually happened before this point, because you know you're making a whole story is saying like, oh, it's such a joy to share this with all of you, but also I'm not going to share the rest of it with you. Come with it yourselves, idiots. Like it feels like that. It's not meant to feel like that, but it does.
And see Hansuke soon.
I really can. There's no way.
Yeah, don't sound too excited about it after you just cried at the concept of never seeing him again. Why is she mad now? Or was that not meant to be a mad face?
Maybe one day we can meet.
Yeah. Someday, one day, yes. You should be a prop maker in multiple series back in the... Oh, sorry. No, of any prop makers in the script. I've seen the creator, Hollybocku, made them. In this case, props to you. These props are nice. As someone who was a prop maker. Yeah, again, this does look like it's either, you know, things that were either made by the creator or were or the background artist. Might be a background and props deal. Sometimes those go hand in hand. Sometimes they don't. It depends.
Again. Stupid. Stupid. Stupid.
I agree. That whole deal was stupid. Can we find out what that was all about, please?
There's nothing I can do when they don't tell me shit.
Yeah, how about you tell us how your stomach is feeling? I'm pretty sure that was the character got impaled, right?
I forgot to tell Tara about how Hansuke's lifespan is connected to Tara's necklace.
But didn't that just happen? Didn't she just receive that right now? Or did we just skip ahead past the point where the original fight was to some undisclosed time in the future?
I know Hansuke is dead, but how did Tara even survive healing that massive stab in Naomi?
So Hansuke is dead. So that's what, but... So that means that the twins can commune with him, and he can pass on items from, I don't know, some other, like, you know, ethereal plane that he is in right now. Okay. But the curse is what's preventing them from seeing each other, not the fact that one of them is dead, unless I misheard that line. I'm going to rewind that. Maybe via captions,
Connected to Tara's necklace. I know Hansuke is dead, but how did Tara...
Yeah,
I
I did
survive
get that.
healing that massive stab in Naomi?
Did she? We never saw that. Or did we see that take place and this was like the backstory of like before that happened? Even though this was described as part 3 and opened up with part 3 happening. And the healing thing, if it ever happened in order, it would have taken place before she received the power to heal.
Is the treatment going well?
You made me worry.
Says the one who sat in a road.
I thought I lost you. So please don't ever do that again.
Oh, well, she's dead. It's just go, What a response to the, you know, I thought I lost you, don't do that again. God.
Something isn't adding up. I must say.
Yeah, only one thing isn't adding up in this. One singular thing.
You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, wait, this must be one of the whole plots that Holly mentioned before, the idea that the passage of time is inconsistent. And we'll never know, because there's not going to be a part 2, so tough cookies, everyone. That's what we get. Yeah, we just saw the cast. Why are you showing us the credits again for the same people? I mean, okay, I guess I did that in Mutant Girl once as a season finale thing. Maybe. By Hollybocku, animated by Hollybocku, yeah. Okay, so some of them were designed by Hollybocku. I guess Emado Luna came in as a help, okay. And there's the music composed for this. Honestly, probably one of the redeeming features of this video. Visuals aside, the music was something also. Even though it was loud in places, I feel like it's probably comes at the expense of, it's loud only because the voice actors were very quiet in a lot of places. Also, Chad, I saw you in this, so yeah, definitely was you. I gotta know, Chad, since you're here, what was the directing process like for this? Or the script process? Like, what did it look like? Was there much description of like the actions of the characters, or was it just the dialogue and no other input after the lines were submitted? Oh, look, Taylor's alive, everyone. Good to know. Or is he? No, he's going to look at his own corpse. Yeah, whatever. I said Taylor as a Secrets of the Plex reference, but hey, I guess he's fine too. It was just a script and we would get... Oh, so you would get feedback. Okay. Well, then there's no reason for that whole, like, mug thing earlier then. Good to know. All right. Can't tell you how many animated films I've seen with an end credits that's like that. Mostly Pixar. Pixar likes to do that. To go on I had to go on a call with Holly to get live direction. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I remember when the musical started out, I did live direction with everyone, but sometimes it would be on call with like a recorded thing because I recorded all the lines over Discord and I get people to send stuff in. But yeah, that's unusual nowadays. There are some people that just don't like texting for whatever reason. I felt like I was struggling. Yeah, I don't blame you. The material is not clear on anything. Except for things that the characters already know, which, ironically enough, the exposition is felt like way more natural than most exposition does, but, I mean, that's the only part that I can say was worked out as far as the script goes. The director's a spell checker and taking Coast Guard receives proper credit as a proofreader. That makes me happy. Yeah, it's a shame that the proofreader apparently didn't, like, if there was a proofreader for this, what was the script like originally? That raises further questions. If at least 2 people looked over this and went, oh yes, this is fine. Like, what? Like, what does that say about like that process in general, or their ability to be critical of themselves? To the point where Holly apparently realized that there were a bunch of whole plots in this while editing the video, not when conceiving it, not when drawing it or, devising the story in general, not during the actual scripting process where it would have been trivially easy to just read back what you did and figure these things out. No, while the final edits or like the edits in general being completed, that's when you realize, hey, wait a minute, this might be a tad confusing. You know, the story where, like, you know, my OCs with, like, existing lore that I'm not going to explain at any point because I'm not going to come back to these characters, you know, maybe people might be a little bit baffled by what's going on. Yeah, just maybe. Like, there are some things to be put together, and naturally, visual storytelling is the name of the game. This is a visual medium we're talking about here. But my goodness, when the visuals themselves don't help you out enough, or they throw so much at you that you have to rewind to figure out what's going on, there's like a threshold with that. Again, the reason it's one of the reasons why I can't get into FNAF, because like there's so much like effort that it takes just to enjoy the story that you're trying to be told, rather than just like experiencing it for yourself. You know, for some people that's their thing, but for me it most certainly isn't. So maybe this is just a matter of preference ultimately, but from judging from the reactions in the chat, it seems like I'm not alone here in saying we needed a little bit more here to actually, well, honestly, even be invested in the characters. I think the reason that FNAF gets away with presenting us with so little is because we ourselves are the players. We are characters going through these different things. We care about our own outcome and our own survival and our own understanding of what's going on. In a medium like this, you don't. You need something to be like invested in the people that are there. And if I can barely glean what the story is supposed to be in the first place with everyone, and I'm having to, like, you know, I'm having to analyze in this much detail, like to even like figure out what I'm supposed to be invested in the first place, that to me is not good storytelling. Like, yes, I analyze everything anyway because it's a review show, but if I were just a casual observer of this, aside from getting mesmerized by the visuals and occasional good performances when we can make out what's being said by the people involved, then like what am I supposed to latch onto here? There's a reason why, you know, like most of the comments saying this is great are talking about the visuals once again in this video. It's just a lot of pretty stuff that's built on a very, very shabby foundation yet again. We were given some script and directions of the script, like pause or action, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, that's another thing. When the actors themselves aren't presented with the lore of their characters in any sort of way, or they can't, by reading the script, figure out what the lore actually is or what kind of character they're portraying, that becomes an issue. Like the character who's like, you know, is like, I'm not very good at comforting or something, and you know that look here, jingling keys, like that. Like that, at least that felt like, you know, decent characterization, because like the character themselves is confirming they're not good at this and they are themselves awkward. But you know, you don't want to rely on that for everyone who's involved. To some degree, at least, like, you know, present what people can figure out about the characters themselves, especially if you're, well, I'll say this, as somebody who, again, has now, I guess, the second longest gacha series, longest running gacha series, I can say that, you know, voice actors can come and go for projects. In general, I'm not doing anyone. I'm not saying that because Chad's here. I just mean in general, voices come and go, which means they need to be able to pick up what's happening or what's being expected of them. You know, from context clues, and whether or not you want to like disclose that to them in the script, or, you know, verbally or through a call, like in this case, then then you know that's then that's up to you. But at least like but doing something to help with that, because these are the people who are helping bring your vision to life, and if they're not going to be guided through it, and the audience aren't going to be guided through it, then ultimately the only person this can be for is just Holly themselves. Like, and yeah, I mean, to some extent, you know, like you know, make art that you yourself would enjoy, but if you're going to share it with an audience, you know, make it so that they can follow along as well, be as invested as you are, you know, and, you know, always leave them wanting more, make them crave more, make them want to make theories about this, as opposed to just theories about figuring out what is going on in the first place and why a fight broke out that was immediately ignored. But yeah, think they're going to be more voice actors. Do you mean for my stuff or for this series? Because for this series, Holly said in the description that, you know, they're going to go back to just doing music videos because they're better at, in their opinion, they're better at conveying the story through music than they are through having a script. So for them, no. For me, there's always going to be some voice acting project in the future to some degree. Whether or not it's open casting is up for debate because it depends on reliability of voice actors, depends on the scale of the project. But most of the time there'll be something. In fact, I need to find a new person to play Terry because the voice actor for Terry recently left. So I got to do some recasting in general. Once again for Muse and Girl. So if you want to hop on in there and if you're talking about me, then there will be something, and I will probably make an announcement at some stage. Well, the rest of the majority of the script I span lore, which is fun. So yeah, that's referring to your helping Tamsin with her scripts. Yes, it makes sense to flow nicely. It's made a very clear difference, I will say, from what was there before. Is it better without having voice actors? Again, if you're referring to this series, I guess the question then becomes, was Holly right? Are they better at conveying the story through the music videos or through the voice actors, or for a voice acted series? And personally, I think I disagree with them. I think they are slightly better at using the voice acted projects to convey what's going on. And the reason I say that's because the music videos were so jam-packed with so many things that lasted only a few seconds, they require a lot more rewinding in general. With some of these things, some of the questions become evident. Why can't Tara and Hansuke see each other? Well, you think this was a restraining order at first or something to that effect, and they have to do some sort of loopholes. Okay, well, it turns out there was a curse. You can infer from that the curse is the reason that they can't communicate. Great. That at least is something there. But and the music video doesn't really have that because the dialogue, if there is any dialogue, is there only for a few seconds. The visual storytelling is confusing at best, chaotic at worst. So, yeah, and people are gonna be obviously taken in by everything that's going on. And also, another thing I didn't mention, or I mentioned briefly, while you're going through that, you're distracted by the song. The song in the music videos themselves, whichever song it may be, is either radically changing the tone of the actual thing, like in Tragedy, or is overshadowing what's going on if you're focusing on those words, in the case of Right Now. So with custom composed music, or I guess different scores and soundtracks, you don't have that issue. Music with lyrics in Gacha is a very complicated thing to do, because it's one of the things that, again, going to Tell Me the Bad Boy took me out of part of the story, was just listening to BTS constantly while you were trying to see a character who was being who was being shocked or confined or whatever was going on, and it didn't match the tone at all. And even if lyrics do match the tone of what's going on, especially in a voice acted series, you're going to end up with conflicting ideas, but also just in general, if you're reading what's going on, you'll think about the lyrics in the background, and if things are timed to the music, as things often are in animation, it can distract you from those as well. So I think this series benefited by that change, and I can see the thought process behind that. It's just a shame that it didn't end up working out, I suppose. Ghosty has words for this video, so if you want to come in and say those, I presume that's what you're suggesting here. So, yeah, let me go ahead. Oh, you actually are in my recents, because everything is recent, I suppose. Yeah. Right, I've been making sure Tamsin doesn't rush herself. That's also a good thing to point out, yeah. If whenever those episodes do come out and you guys can see them. Yeah, I'm excited too. All right, Ghosty, what have you got to say about this video?
Actually, I have something to say about all 3 videos.
Mm-hmm.
Question 1, what's happening?
Yeah.
Because I can only catch bits and pieces of what's supposed to be parts of a complete story.
Yeah.
And from what I can tell, magic exists in this world, so I'm going to be forming my opinion based on that basis.
Hmm.
We're clearly working within my domain, which is modern fantasy. Like, I'm
Yeah.
guessing that in the music videos, we're focusing on this girl who has lost a loved one, who has lost someone she loved, or maybe a sibling, to some kind of creature, and maybe that haunts her a little bit via hallucinations. That, or the hallucinations are magical in nature. I don't know, we'd never get an answer about that.
It seemed like it was a breakup actually because she saved the same character from being run over like an idiot in at the end of the video. So
And
the
then they
character's still alive at
to
least.
stay in the middle of the road. Brilliant.
Yep. I saved your life for the next 5 seconds, baby.
And here's my other thing. While the music videos are edited beautifully and that there are nice custom backgrounds, it's very much visuals over story with these.
Yep.
It feels like everything else is curated and beautiful to distract from the story being an absolute disaster.
It's polishing a turd, yeah. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Yeah, metaphorically speaking. But something else I had to say, and something that is very important. Are you sure you're not using custom backgrounds to compensate for the fact that you don't remember your character's original stories to begin with, and are just making things up as you go along?
I like to think that at least the creator remembers what was there. Someone has to know what's going on.
I'd like to think that too, but there is plenty of evidence in this video that the author might be just as confused as we are.
Yeah, I suppose like that's a good point. How do you end up with so many whole plots in your own in your own lore? You know, if it's not, but I mean, but which I mean might also be because of how like OC lore is created and like retconned and changed, and things are if it's like in notebooks or whatever, then it ends up all being again like mixed together. This actually is something that you can probably offer some perspective on because as you've reminded me of recently, even though or just random people in general, the character of Ulrich, as
he's had
Monster Compendium future fame, has had multiple incarnations and has existed for some
Yeah,
time.
he's
but you've
had-
adapted, yeah.
He's had 3 reincarnations, technically 4. I say technically 4 because we don't talk about 3.5.
Ah, okay.
We don't talk about 3.5. But yeah, when it comes to multiple stories changing over time and having characters changing over time and having multiple backstory iterations, it can be hard to keep that straight unless you were like my 2013 DeviantArt and had several, versions of Ulrich's character sheet that were marked with the date so you knew when you created them. Like, I can perfectly understand your world forming and changing as you grow up. After all, Ulrich went from being an edgy bad boy to a father to a teenager again. The circle of life, or the circle of story creation. But it's up to you as a creator to keep your iterations straight. To be the one. I think Jacob's crashed. To be
I
the
think I'm back.
one. Yeah, you're back. You're back. But you need to be the one to keep the iterations of your character at least a little straight, or the story that character was a part of is going to get a little confusing. It's like, yeah,
Or more than a little in this case.
people liked Iteration 1 Ulrich because people like edgy bad boys. But not a lot of people liked Iteration 2 Ulrich because he went from being a edgy bad boy to someone who kind of isn't an edgy bad boy anymore. A
He
lot
became
of
an
people
edgy bad man. I don't know. I don't know this version.
No, he went from being an edgy bad boy to a pretty decent father figure.
Oh, okay. That's way better.
But a lot of people didn't like Iteration 2 Ulrich and liked Iteration 1. It's up to you to keep your iteration straight. And if you're making a story that has different iterations of the same character all throughout their lifespan as your character, Ulrich as a dad sounds odd, but I also kind of see it. Yeah. Like a lot of personality traits of Phase 2 Ulrich went into Phase 3. And not a lot of Phase 1, ironically.
Hmm.
But I like from this story, I can see that probably they had several iterations of these characters whose backstories changed, probably while they were still making the video in question. Which is never a good sign.
Yeah. Apparently, the lore dates back 5 to 7 years. I'm not sure why there's such a big wide time frame in between those, but yeah. So that does predate this particular project. So either they have had multiple iterations, or they've had the same iteration but didn't decide to make a new one. They could have decided to make a new one, like a more streamlined one for audiences, if that's what they were going for. If they weren't going for that, then they would need to have backtracked a little bit and given us a something, anything to to help guide through.
Yeah, it feels like during the creation of this video, they had similar, like, there was probably a backstory change, and that's why there's so many holes. Well, I guess it's probably a thing, and it's what I call OC Maker to OC Maker inside jokes. This was usually a thing during 2013 DeviantArt, where a lot of creators who knew each other for a long time and do each other's characters for just as long would know the lore intimately. However, everyone on the outside of that bubble would be very confused.
Yeah, that is true. So there reminds me a little bit of some of Jay's old Gacha videos that were referencing specific people on the Gacha servers which they were advertised on, but of course they were all published on YouTube anyway, so the YouTube audience had no clue, myself included. Every time that he decided to show me one of them, I was like, who are these people? Who is Section? Who is Anthony? What is going on?
Who are these people?
Exactly. Yeah. Insert the Patrick Star meme here.
Who are you people?
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
That's why.
Which is what I felt when the characters came on and started fighting in the street in tragedy and didn't help the ones who were already in the road. Yeah. That's what I felt.
That's also what happened when it came to that one video we mentioned. One video we watched, the one really terrible one where everyone was in space.
Oh yes, I forgot the name of it now, but yes, I do remember that one. Yeah,
I don't remember.
All the different departments hated each other, and like the theft of a plant was a capital punishment or something. I don't know.
That also feels like there was this, Space Crusaders. No, it was the one with the plant.
Yeah, the one with
probably Space Crusaders.
Recent, it haunts people's memories recently. Bond's new least favorite gacha. Yeah.
But it is the thing to where everyone within that circle would know each other's characters intimately and get an idea of what was going on. However, anyone outside of that audience bubble wouldn't understand.
Yeah. And that video was so much worse.
Oh yeah, Broken Stores Greenhouse.
Yeah. That video was way worse at this, by the way, because there were so many characters. There were like 20 or 30 characters. So, the inside bubble was so vast that, there's so many things to catch up on if you want to pierce the out of it, so to speak, to, I guess, give into the analogy a little bit. This one at the very least kept the cast short or small in order to, although I guess that was probably not deliberate. That was just the case of all these OCs in question.
Okay,
Yeah.
but Broken Stars Greenhouse Sprout was okay. BS GSW.
Yeah, there you go. Why so many? A question that remains with us to this very day. I say this very day.
Like,
We only was like a week ago, but still.
I know, like, I know the answer to that. I know why there were probably so many people involved. A lot of people hold open RP servers or open roleplay chats
Oh yeah, we
where
did say this was based on RP. Yeah, I forgot
where
about that.
there
Yeah.
would where there would be an established world setting, and you just basically had to add your own character and backstory to it. I was a part of multiple of these projects, and they all went down the toilet for very different reasons.
Yeah, I was a part of one of them. That was all the way back in 2018. That's actually where I met BB and also the aforementioned Jay. Though it went downhill because we were the only active members. We all moved to Discord, but but yeah, Athmouth themed as well. But so I do get that experience, especially towards the beginning. Everyone chooses themselves, and this like randomly like comes. It's like, oh, okay, all right, we're gonna shift this here. At the very least, BB and I were trying to keep the plot steady, if nothing else.
Yeah, but basically, there are so many characters because people can add their own, and BSGSW or BS for short. I'm gonna call it BS because of how terrible that video was.
Yeah.
But BSG was like that because there were just so many role players involved that they didn't have a concise way to introduce everyone. This video has a similar problem.
A similar problem that I think comes from a different origin. Because yeah, with like adapting a role play, what they failed to do is work out which parts were either important or which parts needed to be like streamlined, so they weren't just repeating themselves. It felt like it was almost like ripped straight from the Discord page, so to speak, or wherever they hosted it. I'm not sure if it was. Well, I'm not sure where it would have been. Yeah, this one, if it's like all from one particular person, that one particular person needs, I guess, like make up their mind with themselves rather than, figure out which parts to include from other people's inputs, I suppose. Which is somewhat ironic considering that we are now offering our own input on where the story, went down the drain. So, take that for what you will. The second one's supposed to exist, but a couple of my friends wanted to be a part of it. Was that why it was like tacked on at the beginning of this video and it didn't come back to it? Or you mean like the part that's like just the fight, I suppose, that was discussed? Well, there were two there were two like TV segments. Yeah, I guess the reporter one was at least like useful to say, okay, we're still immediately opening up after the last thing. And then the other one just kind of like played in the background. The beginning, okay, fine. So yeah, the bit about the fight. Yeah, I was also I also thought when I first started watching this, the reports of like just a fight with no prior context would be a bit strange for citizens to be reporting and to make the news in a big city. But then I realized, oh wait, no, with the tragedy one, it makes sense because they're all fighting with magical weapons. That would be a huge event, depending on how easily accessible those weapons are, and they don't seem to be. So yeah, that's worked surprisingly well. The TV bit after that was the one where I'm like, this also feels very superfluous. So hey, at least your friend got the long end of the stick. Is I guess what would be the phrase in that case. Never said that before, but that's a thing now. So silver lining, I suppose, considering all that has come of this. So yeah, Gacha review is back. What a beginning! I've actually got to go and watch some other ones because I realized that the deadline is actually sooner than I think for I thought for the GachaFest round 3, but there's also only like a couple other ones I need to watch. So I should be able to finish that fairly quickly. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and eat and then do that and probably enjoy this. Yeah. Good luck. Yeah, I'm going to need it for some of them. Other ones,
Like-
not so much. You know, there's a big mix of these things. Although I'm sad to report that Alpha Male Rizzler made it to best comedy round 3. So
Oh
see what I can do
no!
about I'll
I
see
don't-
what I can do about that.
I'm sorry, but Alpha Male Rizzler was terrible.
I agree. It
It
there was a way for
wasn't even
if
a
there was a way
good
for a judge to-
comedy.
if there was a way for us to downvote on Google Forms, I would have done so, but there isn't. So what can you do? All right. So, but for now, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. What's he found on PR6? Oh wow, that's even worse. Okay, I subscribed done so already, and on that note, until next time, farewell.
Farewell.